My first university degree was in composition, and I studied at Victoria University here in Wellington, and I had Ross Harris as my first tutor. I was immediately struck by how Ross seemed to really understand the voice and its capabilities. I was really excited when I heard that Ross was being commissioned to write a piece for this tour, and when I received it, I was really surprised because, you know, I've heard a lot of Ross's work before. I shouldn't be surprised because I'd sung another song cycle of his called Wild Daisies, which to me feels a little bit like this in that it's very simple and from the heart, and the vocal line is, it's very earnest and folk-like, this way of writing for the voice, you know, very natural. The poems by Vincent O'Sullivan are wonderful, what they seem to be, and I did a bit of research about Beatrice Tinsley when I found out what the poems were based on, and I think that they illustrate really beautifully these internal struggles that she had between her, well, obsession with what she saw as her vocation, which was cosmology and astronomy, and what I suppose she considered the mundanities of everyday life, and her family who she loved but couldn't, you know, she felt dedicated to working towards the greater picture and discovering more about her science. And I think that as a mother and a wife she felt very restricted, especially when she was practicing as a lecturer, both here and in the US after marrying her husband, when she was unable to actually lecture at the universities where he was because they were married. So eventually she abandoned her family and went to lecture at Yale University. She was offered a professorship there. So, you know, she made that decision. These were questions and studies that seemed so incredibly natural to her that actually it was her family that seemed more alien in a way, or not her family themselves, but the practice of being a mother and having those responsibilities when she saw her responsibility as something much bigger. But anyway, she died very tragically of cancer only 3 years after she took up her professorship at Yale. It is very poignant and very beautiful, and there's a lot in it. And the wonderful thing about it, I suppose, well, certainly something that has come to light through the performances, is that it's a very accessible piece to audiences. People who would kind of, I suppose, would be a bit pessimistic or hesitant about hearing new work, they all seem to absolutely adore it.